Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of AI Podcast with Wool and Anna. It's great to have you back with us. We've had some fascinating conversations recently about artificial intelligence, digital marketing, AI-powered search, content creation, automation, and the future of business. But today, I think we're taking the conversation to another level. Because we've spent a lot of time talking about AI tools. We've talked about ChatGPT. We've talked about Claude. We've talked about Gemini. We've explored Perplexity, Notebook LM, GenSpark, AI Search, SEO, AEO, and all of these incredible technologies that are changing the way we work. But today, we're asking a much bigger question. What happens when AI stops simply answering our questions and starts taking action? What happens when you don't just ask AI to write a marketing plan, but you tell an AI system, here's my business. Here is my target audience. Here are my goals. Go research the market, identify opportunities, develop a strategy, create the campaign, analyze the results, and recommend what we should do next. That's a very different world. And I think that's where today's conversation becomes extremely interesting.
Absolutely. And I'm really excited about this topic because I think there's a lot of confusion around what AI agents actually are. We hear the word agent everywhere. AI agents, agentic AI, autonomous agents, AI employees, AI workers, and sometimes these terms are used as if they're all exactly the same thing. They're not. There is a major difference between using an AI assistant and using an AI agent. And understanding that difference is going to become incredibly important for marketers and business owners. Because we are moving from a world where humans tell AI exactly what to do, to a world where humans increasingly tell AI what outcome they want. And then AI helps determine the steps required to reach that outcome.
So basically, we're moving from AI, write this email, to AI, help me increase customer retention.
Exactly. And that's a massive shift. Because the first request is a task. The second is a goal. An assistant helps you complete a task. An agent is designed to help you achieve a goal through multiple steps. And that distinction is going to transform marketing.
And I think that's what makes today's episode so important. Because marketing has always been a field with hundreds of repetitive tasks. You have research, you have content, you have social media, you have email, you have advertising, you have analytics, you have customer service, you have SEO, you have reporting, you have optimization, and historically, businesses needed entire teams to manage all of those activities. But now we're starting to imagine something completely different. A marketing department where humans set the strategy, and AI agents handle a large part of the execution.
Yes, and I want to emphasize something right away. That doesn't necessarily mean that humans disappear. I actually think the opposite. The role of humans becomes more strategic. Instead of spending 6 hours preparing a report, a marketer might spend 6 hours thinking about what the business should do next. Instead of manually researching competitors, they might focus on positioning. Instead of writing every social media post, they might focus on the brand story. So the question isn't, will AI replace marketers? The better question is, which parts of marketing should humans continue doing, and which parts should AI handle?
And that's exactly what we're going to explore today. We're going to look at what AI agents are, how they're different from traditional AI assistants, how agentic AI is changing marketing, the tools businesses can use, what a future AI-powered marketing department could look like, and then we're going to talk about something that I think is equally important. The risks. Because giving AI more autonomy also means giving AI more responsibility. And that's where things become complicated.
Absolutely. Because the more powerful AI becomes, the more important human oversight becomes.
Anna, let's start with the basics. If someone is listening to us and they've never heard the term AI agent before, how would you explain it?
I would start with something very simple. Imagine you have a traditional AI assistant. You open ChatGPT and say, write me a LinkedIn post about AI marketing. The AI writes the post. You say, make it more professional. It changes the post. You say, add 3 examples. It adds 3 examples. You are directing the process. You're making the decisions. You're telling the AI what to do next. That's an AI assistant. Now imagine you say, I want to build my LinkedIn presence around AI marketing. My goal is to attract marketing professionals and business owners. I want to publish 3 times a week and grow my audience. An agentic system could potentially help break that goal into multiple tasks. It might research your audience, analyze competitors, identify content topics, create a content calendar, draft posts, suggest images, schedule content, monitor engagement, analyze what performs best, and then recommend adjustments. The important difference is that the system is working toward an objective rather than simply responding to individual commands.
So the AI is becoming more proactive.
Exactly, and that changes the relationship. With a traditional assistant, you're constantly asking, "What should I do next?" With an agentic workflow, the system can help determine, "Here are the next steps we should take." It's almost like having a junior employee. But I would be careful with that analogy. An AI agent doesn't necessarily have the judgment, accountability, or emotional intelligence of a human employee. It's more accurate to think of it as a highly capable digital system that can perform specific tasks and workflows. It can be incredibly useful, but it still needs boundaries.
Let's say I own a small e-commerce business. I want to launch a new product. How would an agentic workflow look?
Traditionally, you might do this. First, you research competitors. Then you identify your audience. Then you create a marketing strategy. Then you write product descriptions. Then you create social media content. Then you launch ads. Then you monitor results. Then you analyze performance. Then you optimize. That's a lot of work. An agentic system could potentially coordinate many of those activities. One system could research the market. Another workflow could analyze competitors. Another could generate initial creative concepts. Another could help create campaign assets. Another could analyze advertising performance. The human would still define the overall objective and approve important decisions. But the execution becomes much more automated.
So we're moving from individual AI prompts to AI workflows.
Exactly. And then from workflows toward autonomous workflows. That's the progression. Prompt, then assistant, then workflow, then agentic system.
Let's talk specifically about marketing. Because marketing seems like one of the industries that could benefit enormously from this. Why?
Because marketing is essentially a combination of information, creativity, communication, and optimization. And AI is becoming increasingly capable in all four areas. Think about a typical marketing campaign. You need to understand, who is the customer? What problem do they have? What are competitors doing? What message will resonate? Which channels should we use? What content should we create? What budget should we allocate? How do we measure success? And then, once the campaign starts, what's working? What's not? What should we change? That's a continuous loop. AI agents can potentially assist throughout that loop.
Let's imagine a fictional company. Let's say we're launching an online productivity app for freelancers. How would agentic marketing approach that launch?
We could start with the research stage. The system could analyze competitors. It could look at customer reviews. It could identify common complaints. It could research discussions across online communities. It could identify frequently asked questions. Then it could create a summary of the market. For example, it might discover that freelancers aren't necessarily looking for more productivity. They might actually be struggling with managing multiple clients, tracking deadlines, switching between projects, organizing invoices, avoiding burnout. That's a major insight, because now the marketing message changes. Instead of saying, "Our app helps you become more productive," you might say, "Manage 5 clients without losing track of deadlines." That's much more specific. AI isn't just creating content. It's helping discover the message behind the content. And that's where AI becomes strategically interesting.
Let's build a hypothetical marketing department. Imagine it's 2030. We have a company with 10 employees. But behind those 10 employees, there are dozens of AI agents. What does that marketing department look like?
Let's imagine the first role is an AI research agent. Its job is to continuously monitor competitors, industry trends, customer feedback, market changes. It doesn't just perform research once. It keeps monitoring. Then you might have an AI content agent. This system helps transform research into blog posts, newsletters, social media, video scripts, podcast ideas. Then an SEO and AEO agent. Its job is to analyze search trends, AI search visibility, content gaps, questions customers are asking. Then a social media agent. It monitors performance. It identifies which topics are working. It recommends what to create next. Then an analytics agent. This one looks at the numbers. Traffic, conversions, customer acquisition costs, engagement, revenue, and it can potentially identify patterns that humans might miss.
And then there's probably a customer support agent.
Absolutely. And that's another major area. Imagine an AI customer service system that doesn't simply answer, "Where is my order?" It understands the entire customer history. It knows what the customer purchased, previous support interactions, their preferences, the current order status, and it can personalize the conversation.
That sounds incredibly powerful, but also a little scary. Because if all of these systems are connected, you're essentially creating a digital organization.
Yes, and that's exactly why governance becomes important. The more connected the systems become, the more carefully companies need to control them.
Let's talk about actual tools. We've mentioned AI agents conceptually, but what platforms should people be watching?
There are several categories. First, we have the major AI platforms. Companies like OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, and Microsoft are all developing increasingly capable AI systems and agentic capabilities. Then we have platforms designed specifically for building workflows. For example, Zapier has been moving toward AI-powered automation and agents. N8N is interesting for people who want more customizable workflows. Relevance AI focuses heavily on AI agents and business workflows. Lindy is another platform focused on creating AI assistants and automations. And then you have platforms like Microsoft Copilot Studio, which allow organizations to build custom AI agents connected to business systems.
So we shouldn't think of one AI agent. We should think of an ecosystem.
Exactly. And this ecosystem will probably become increasingly specialized. One agent may be excellent at research, another at sales, another at customer service, another at data analysis. The real power comes from connecting them.
Which brings us to something interesting. What happens when agents start communicating with other agents?
That's where things become extremely interesting. Imagine your marketing agent identifies a new trend. It sends that information to your content agent. The content agent creates several ideas. The analytics agent predicts which one might perform best. The human marketing manager approves the concept. Then the content system produces the assets. The social media workflow distributes them. The analytics system measures the results. And then the optimization system recommends what to do next. That's an entire marketing cycle.
Let's actually test this idea. Imagine we have a brand launching a new product. Let's say it's a new AI-powered productivity platform for small business owners. If we had an AI agent system, could it run the entire marketing campaign?
It could potentially handle a very large portion of the workflow. But I wouldn't recommend giving it complete control. Let's divide the campaign into stages. First, market research. AI analyzes competitors and customers. Second, audience research. It identifies customer segments. Third, positioning. AI proposes different messages. Fourth, content strategy. It creates a campaign structure. Fifth, content production. It helps produce videos, images, articles, and emails. Sixth, distribution. It helps schedule and distribute the content. Seventh, analytics. It monitors performance. Eighth, optimization. It identifies what should change.
That sounds almost like an autonomous marketing department.
Potentially, yes, but I would keep humans involved in the most important decisions. For example, should we change our brand positioning? Should we spend more money? Should we make a controversial statement? Should we target a new audience? Those decisions have consequences. AI can provide analysis. Humans should remain accountable.
Let's talk about content, because I think this is where creators are both excited and nervous. AI can already create text, images, video, voice, and music. What happens when AI agents can produce content continuously?
We're going to see an enormous increase in content production. But that doesn't necessarily mean more valuable content. That's the key distinction. AI can produce 10,000 posts. But if all 10,000 are generic, nobody cares. The challenge becomes attention.
So we're entering a world of content abundance.
Exactly. And when content becomes abundant, authenticity becomes scarce. That's why I believe personal brands will become even more important. People will want to know, who created this? Why should I trust them? What's their experience? What's their perspective?
What about AI influencers?
They will definitely continue growing. AI-generated characters can create content every day. They can have consistent visual identities. They can speak multiple languages. They can appear in different environments. But I think the most successful creators will combine AI production with real human stories.
We've talked about all the opportunities. Now let's talk about the uncomfortable side. What happens when we give AI too much autonomy?
This is one of the most important conversations. The more autonomous an AI system becomes, the greater the potential risk. Imagine an AI agent makes a mistake. If it's just writing a draft, a human can correct it. But what if that agent sends an email to thousands of customers, changes an advertising campaign, spends money, publishes something damaging, gives incorrect information? Now the consequences are much larger.
So companies need guardrails.
Absolutely. You need permissions, approval systems, monitoring, data protection, clear limits, and human oversight. I think the future is not AI does everything. It's AI does what it's good at. Humans control what matters most.
Let's finish by looking into the future. Imagine we are sitting here in 2030. What does a marketing team look like?
I think teams will be smaller but more powerful. You might have one marketing strategist, one creative director, one brand leader, one customer experience specialist, and then a network of AI systems supporting them. The human team focuses on strategy, creativity, relationships, brand, judgment. AI handles much of research, analysis, execution, personalization, reporting, repetitive operations.
So the best marketers won't necessarily be the ones who can do everything manually. They'll be the ones who know how to orchestrate AI.
Exactly. The skill of the future isn't just prompting. It's orchestration, knowing which tool to use, which agent to deploy, which data to provide, what should be automated, what should remain human, and when to intervene.
Anna, I think we've reached a really interesting conclusion. We started this conversation talking about AI agents. But I think the bigger story is actually about the future of work. Because AI isn't just changing marketing. It's changing how we think about teams, how we think about productivity, how we think about entrepreneurship, and even how we think about what it means to run a business.
Absolutely. And I think we're entering a period where one person can accomplish things that previously required an entire team. A creator can research like an analyst. A marketer can operate like a department. A small business can access capabilities that were once available only to large corporations. That's incredibly empowering, but it also creates responsibility. Because technology gives us more power. And with more power comes the need for better judgment.
So if someone listening today is wondering, where do I start? What would you tell them?
Start small. Don't try to build a fully autonomous AI company tomorrow. Take one repetitive process. Maybe it's research. Maybe it's content creation. Maybe it's customer support. Maybe it's reporting. Find one workflow. Improve it. Measure the results. Then expand. The future belongs to people who learn how to work with AI, not people who simply watch AI evolve from the sidelines.
I love that. And I think that's the perfect message to end today's episode with. AI agents aren't some distant science fiction idea. The technology is developing right now. The tools are becoming more accessible. And businesses are beginning to experiment with entirely new ways of working. But the most important thing is not which AI tool you use. It's how you think, how you adapt, how you combine technology with human creativity and judgment.
Yes, because AI can help us move faster. But humans still decide where we're going.
And on that note, Anna, thank you so much for another incredible conversation.
Thank you, Will. This was such a fascinating topic. And I think we're going to look back at this period and realize that this was the moment when AI moved from being a tool we used to becoming a system we worked alongside.
That's a powerful thought, and I think we'll leave everyone with that. Thank you so much for joining us on AI Podcast with Will and Anna. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to subscribe, because we're going to continue exploring the biggest changes happening in AI, marketing, business, technology, and the future of work. Until next time, stay curious, keep experimenting, keep learning, and remember, the future isn't something we simply wait for, it's something we build. See you in the next episode. Bye everyone.